And we're back making picks again this week. Uncle Tom, making America rich, betting on fantasy football football games. But before that, I'd like to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson. I have been known to teach history from time to time. So I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about podcasts and fantasy football Fuego. Obviously, everybody knows and everybody loved In the Jungle with Tom and Tweak. But some people may not know there was another podcast that attempted to rival In the Jungle during a time in fantasy football Fuego history. That podcast was hosted by Fred and Tommy. Now, I know what you're thinking to yourself. Wow, no one probably listened to that podcast. And you would be right. No one did listen. But history will show that podcast did exist. And because we kind of had a little bit of a rivalry going on for a while, I've kept my eye on Tommy's team and kept my eye on Fred's team over the years just to kind of see how they're doing. So I was checking up on them this week, and I noticed to myself, both of their team names have my name in it. Moj Toms. The Fred is Tom. Both of them, me, I'm Tom. So it got me thinking to myself, it got me feeling some type of way. And honestly, I don't know if I can express these words myself, so I'm turning to a good friend of mine, Mariah Carey, in song form to express how I feel. Why are you so obsessed with me? Boys, I wanna know. Naming your teams after me. That's right. Why are you so obsessed with me, boys? I want to know. Naming your teams after me. I have a little bit of an idea. For Fred, seems to me, obviously envy. He wishes he had my record instead of his. For Tommy, it's probably more of an appreciation thing for being a fantasy football dumbass on my end. If I had started Josh Allen like I was supposed to, Tommy would not have a winning record right now. So I get that. I guess I sort of get it on both their ends now. I guess I sort of answered my own question there. But still, food for thought. Why are they so obsessed with me? And I will say also that I've been kind of trying to lay off a trash-talking Fred this year because, candidly, I feel like we've been each other's shoulder to cry on in the ups and downs of the fantasy football El Fuego world. It's a hard world out there. And Fred and I have had some heart-to-hearts this year. So I've been kind of holding off on trash-talking him. But then it comes to my attention this week that Fred is out there talking a big game. Fred's like, oh, yeah, I got to get this podcast going again with Tommy because I'm going to drop a huge trash talk bomb on Tom. Yeah, I got this big bomb I'm going to drop on Tom. So Fred's got a bomb to drop. I get it. Fred wants to trash me. Fine. I'm a man of the people. I would like to give some time here to play Fred's trash talk of me right here on this podcast. So here we go. Here is what Fred recorded and said about me. That's right, silence, because Fred never actually followed through and recorded anything, which really unravels the bigger picture that Fred has nothing to say about me because he has half as many wins as I do. So, there you go, America. I guess Fred isn't that much of a big guy after all because he ain't never said nothing. So now, it's time for the moment that everyone's waiting for. Everybody, let's get ready. And it's time to get ready for the picks that everyone knows and everyone loves. It's Tom Fuego's Flamin' 5. Brian versus someone else. I do believe that Brian's team is in a little bit of a predicament right now. Everyone in fantasy football Fuego, literally everyone, told Brian to draft Delaney Walker this year. Did he listen? He did not. Instead, he drafted Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper is now hurt. Brian now has no tight end to start this week. Brian is playing Fred. Yahoo has Brian is an 11-point favorite. I'm taking the underdog for the second straight week. I'm taking Fred as an underdog. He made us a lot of money last week. He's going to make us a lot of money this week. I'm taking Fred to cover the spread against Brian. Alo versus Kolage. In a matchup that could be a primetime game, I only have 2 betting rules in fantasy football Fuego. 1, never bet against Kolage. 2, never bet against Alo. One of those rules has to give this week. I am going to lean towards the 2-time defending champion. I still think everything Kolage touches turns to gold. Alo's got some bye-week shenanigans going on with his quarterback. I think Kolage wins, but it's closer than Yahoo thinks. I'm picking Kolage to win the game. I'm picking Alo to cover the spread. Tommy versus Jen. Jen's team's got a lot of question marks right now. You know the old saying, you have 2 Arizona Cardinals running backs, you really have none. Jen has 2 right now. Doesn't know which one to start. Played them both last week. It didn't work out. Tommy surprised me last week. It was my big loss picking last week. I picked against Tommy. I underestimated him. I will not do that again. Patrick Mahomes, Tommy has built the team around him like good franchises do. They build the team around their best player. Hey, Jets, maybe listen to that. Build the team around your best player. I'm going to pick Tommy here, and I'm going to pick him to actually cover and potentially blow out Jen. Speaking of blowouts, George versus Dave. George is in an unfamiliar situation for him in fantasy football if I go coming off a loss. I'm already impressed with the way George has handled himself. He's changed his team name to the very hilarious Boxy's Uncle and has come up with what I believe to be the team logo of the year of him and his nephew. His nephew is Boxy. Dave's team is in shambles. I'm predicting George to bounce back and blow out George. I'm picking George to bounce back and blow out Dave. I'm picking George to cover at a score of 110-75. What matchups am I missing? Oh, that's right. I almost forgot this game was even going on because it's so meaningless. Louis versus Tweak. No one cares. That being said, there is money to be made here. Tweak is a 1-point favorite. That's right. Tweak is a favorite in this matchup. Any matchup for the rest of the season where Tweak is favored, we're taking the underdog. We're betting Louis here. We're playing a number. We're not necessarily putting faith in Louis' team. We're playing the odds here. I'm picking Louis to upset, according to Yahoo, upset Tweak. I'm going to pick this matchup, the score of 49-47. And there you have it, America. Tom Fuego's Flamin' 5 picks, back again. Take it to the bank, take it to the casino, push it to the limit. Good night, America.